Alright, so the divine beasts are kind of difficult in Hyrule Rebalance. So, I've come up with a plan. It's quite simple, really. That's right, we're going grinding. Specifically, I'm going shrine hunting. Let's see, how many do I have right now? Two, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 7 plus 5. I have some money. And I only need one more shrine. Yeah. I mean, Alright, so without doing any with minimal teleportation, I am going all the way over to here and get the Master Sword. Any shrine I come across, I'll be sure to complete. Resources are quite scarce. I say that, but look at this inventory. It's quite scuffed. But I don't have that much food to cook or eat, for that matter. Yeah, so Tears of the Kingdom. I'm quite excited about it. I mean, have been for a long time now. Pretty sure plenty other people agree. Hello there. So that, since it's raining... The meat at least gives lots of hearts when cooked now, along with some nice extended durations. 6 hearts, 4 hearts, 5 hearts. Like 5 rupees per heart. It's like 3 rupees per hearts. And then the duration just seems to be based off the hearts it's already giving. I'm understanding the logic. Anyway, money is quite scarce. So, I suppose I'm just here for window shopping. Ooh, an iron string. What weapon should I be using right now? Claymores really aren't all that good. I think I should try getting rid of this. The spin attack is not worth it, at least not until I get the Rook. And get a permanent... Unless... No, I don't even have a Claymore skill yet. It's literally the last thing I have left to unlock. How annoying. Anyway, you know what, since I'm here, there's a person I want to meet. I can't freaking wait, man. Oh, I wish I had a capture card so I could... I could also just emulate. But like, I'd like to play it at school as well anyhow, so... A friendly stranger. Ignore my terrible mask. I'm gonna buy some of these. You can make some good salmon meuniere maybe. If I get all the necessary ingredients, that'll hopefully result in something nice. Right, time to head on back. Apparently Hyrule Rebalance also changed a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe an Electro Rod. No, it's the low tier one. I'll just run. Whoa, that choo-choo came out of nowhere. There you are. Is it enchanted? No. Unless it has mods, it's not worth it. I'll keep the claymore still. According to Hyrule Rebalance, claymores are the most overpowered weapon. They have more durability typically than other weapons and more attack. But this is offset by the fact that you can't wield a shield with them, and they're very slow. But then apparently the spin attack renders that flaw worthless as well. So claymores are just overall way weaker now. I don't really agree. I don't think the spin attack is all that powerful of a technique. It eats up durability. Claymores have the least amount of durability. If you are spin attacking, yes, spin attacking is powerful, but again, it wastes durability quickly, and it leaves you vulnerable. Not to mention, that's a very long wind-up. You need to set up for a spin attack. You can't just go around willy-nilly. And if you know what you're doing, it is easy to set up, but like, learning how to do those is reward, and you shouldn't be punished for that. That's like disabling wind bombs because it's too powerful of a movement option. I mean, yeah, that is an unintended mechanic anyhow in the first place, but you get the point with that example, right? How did you get here?
Ah. Ah.
Let me make a save first. I know usually I use this video let's play series in order to talk about some of the stuff that I like, and I swear I will I just don't have the motivation right now to talk about anything. I recently finished Citrus, and I definitely have a very burning desire to talk about it right now after reading through the entire first Citrus manga series along with the English dub, which I liked a lot. But yeah, for now, these thoughts are staying in my brain rent free until I decide I want to kick him out. This is quite the mix. That's fine. Defense food is hard to come by. Oh yeah, they nerfed the bananas. Actually, I'm miscalculating. Just cooking one is already enough to get one level. Once I get the 7 in that 3 out of 7 thingy, that's already the second level. And then once I get 14, yeah, I thought I needed 21. Like, am I fucking... I really am an idiot sometimes. And they really nerfed hard the easy to farm foods, materials, in terms of their potency. Ooh, nice! Four out of 9. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Oh yeah, I have armor amps. 3, 6, 9. And something to enhance the duration. Try rice. Risotto's always nice. Although this won't be risotto. Good enough. I'm gonna cook one more food thingy and I'm gonna use it right away. Whoa, critical. What am I gonna do with all these? For now this. Oh, it's quite hot. Just so I can get to the shrine I want to visit a little faster.
Much better than oh yeah, that's what
Oh, Boopy.
ice slime and ice is that ice level for we'll call it like that. Ice the ice caveman. Yes. Yes, primitive beings used to be art. But as we evolve, that's better. But, since, that job birth didn't kill it, so it's I think it's trying to save its, job birth. That's gonna cost him a few seconds there.
Oh, really? I blame you.
Is, very, very,
Oh, I forgot I had a free slot.
where, in the early patches when she came out, everybody really loved how normal she is, right? They don't realize how destructive this whole child is.
I could. I would have knocked her.
Might have to walk her in solitary confinement. That's you do that.
Oh, I would never do that. I can't
Your whole house is torn apart and burned on fire. I might have some question marks to fill it. Ask yourself a few questions. Oh, as the frames are killing itself again. That's very cool.
Ah,
Nice big man not having a good time. That's nice big man have to open up heart and processing what's going on.
Drake.
6,000.
Hey, Grandpa.
There's a little kid here, one little bot.
Imagining the Ioma Patrol picking up Visual Pain.
Yeah, so starting off with the rotation, we have Gary the jellyfish, right away we go with the rain swords.
In the wrong river.
There's a lot of bait. I don't know if Bishop Bird was deployed, so well, no, it was.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Oh, I just saw, I saw a 34K arrow.
That's pretty a lot of stuff. Yeah, so personally, when I find it really scary. Those eyes on the little mask on the side kind of freak me out a little bit, but yeah. I don't have yelling, so more business
Oh, that didn't knock the shield off? Right, 'cause whether or not you disarm an opponent with a shield with a perfect guard is...
The eyes are moving.
Lux is gonna deal with the Diona BPS strat. Yep, Yvonne mimicking Noemia as the main BPS so far. It's like,
Weird.
Ayaka
So it seems toasty foods
yes, because if that's the case, even then, seems to be
give a very short but the max version. But it's a short duration. Oh well, since you can carry a lot of them. Not sure how I feel about it.
yeah, as you saw that Raiden kinda like killed the frames there. One second and it's quite crazy. It's like
Now I can put much cheaper. All the water sharks, like all the ice lizards.
whenever I see them in the open world, they plunge in water like you guys know Rek'Sai from League of Legends. That's basically what it looks like.
Yeah, actually, different colors.
Wow, bladed rhino beetles are 5'7".
They have those little fish from top. You see that? The little fish.
Would be nice if I had the camera upgrade to scan for these guys.
Wow, what 50%?
You know what? What the bubble ability stop actually energy.
I think that's one of the special abilities that units have against auto. So. Oh, and I think it's the same thing. The bigger version of the boss also that is more like.
Yeah, the boss bishop.
Good thing is, in this tour, you don't have to take them both out at the same time, like the boss. Because the boss, technically, you take one out, the other one's gonna regenerate unless you kill them fast enough, right? 47 seconds. So I think here is a core dive for Osmanthus team. Final four, so everything it's gonna have to be very, very
Try. Look at that damage.
Oh boy.
come back. Gary comes. Yes. Pause the burn. Burn the
The spears are convenient, so...
power factor. Like I said, but once again,
I got 4 keys. I can open
Sorry.
some of the chests here. Although there's really only one. Normally this is a Sheikah shield. It's still a shield though. I'll get rid of this. That's fine, I suppose. It's wooden. Apparently those are better at shield surfing, so...
Will Team Lumine be able to do this consistently or trophy? Is that time all in the truth?
Apparatus shrines are the worst, but like... From what I've seen, it seems motion controls aren't being forced anymore for apparatuses. It seems like. So, you know, I don't mind motion controls, but like, you gotta remember, this game is on the Nintendo Switch. Mario Odyssey had some controls that, although you technically don't need them, they are basically moves that you're locked from ever being able to get. Unless you use motion controls.
But it kind of looks like a little rocket that goes to... Oh, does it not?
Which means if you're like on a car on the go, you know, hopefully not playing video games while actually doing the driving. Yeah, those shrines are basically uncompletable.
Yeah, most every user's like the Oh, it's gonna be good.
There we have it. That's the winner. Second. Congratulations. You're
God damn it. I got a wee wee. What? Well, shirt. This feels like a panic blood moon to me. No, actually.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of
Well, no punitive blood moon anyway, but
Hi guys, today the championship.
well, I'm gonna avoid a campfire for as long as I can. By that I mean Hateno, since I am gonna be going to Hateno.
Now, our two competing contestants are Suplex and Illustrious. One side, Suplex is a free-to-play participant, and on the other side, Illustrious is a low-spec, or rather a low player. Okay, now let's explain the rules for today's match. The goal is quite simple, and both follow get this model as fast as humanly possible. Now, only a maximum of 2 5-star weapons can be used. No offensive cards are allowed. Alright, now let's take a look at our list for this patch. Signature res and signature res will increased 30% for opponents that are under the 15th stage. Very interesting.
The great buff that you guys are knowing their names for money, as well as any electric.
Yeah, and with all that being said, let's get into the draft.
Still getting used to the new range. But I feel like the fiery square bomb upgrade shouldn't hurt me anymore at that distance. And it's basically intended for that purpose.
Yeah, that's a lot of a single target damage cost as well as
They sure put a lot of ads.
but we're gonna get a Benedict still. Now, Illustrious is gonna have double quickness. Okay, we have a negative.
I feel like the character ban phase kind of is the most important part of these tournaments. I mean, execution and stuff still definitely matters. But for the most part, if you get locked, if the opponent can somehow manage to get you to use a really terrible team, then there's really just nothing you can do. Beating you with math, basically.
Well, and exactly as you predicted, Gamiko and the Kaching, both of them being picked by Illustrious, okay?
Yeah, I actually think that the Kaching choice is actually very smart because it's very smart. There's a lot of quick swap. Sign out this one as well, right?
Yeah,
Not
agreed.
bad.
And we see an Ayaka and away the side of Team Wing. And Team Ader is going to respond with a Xiangling ban. So I personally know that Illustrious plays Elf Ganyu, so this Xiangling ban is very aggressive.
Yeah, and just a quick mention is that you have a Ningguang main UPS, so I don't necessarily know how official this is on UPS.
Yeah. Okay, so Diona and a
Ooh, it's Tingle again. I got a part of the freaking bikini. Again.
Okay, with the cookie, I think
Honestly, that's so hilarious though.
right?
It's pretty fitting for Tingle.
signature C1 got hit for the
Right,
illustrious.
and we're out of
But
here.
of course, he will suffer a lot without the sound. Give the option to another pyro choice, perhaps? No, so walking in Mona?
Yeah, I think it's definitely he's not your pump. But he does have that shield Diona that can help him with the next thing.
Yeah, so it seems like he's heading to the Macom choice. And yep, as we predicted, it's the Aether and Pearl.
Yeah, it looks like a that's here.
He's lacking a bit of damage again. The second half.
Yeah, that's gotta be the free to play one. You don't actually they don't own like all the characters, so they have to make do with the action.
Yeah, I yep, this was Benji last pick, of course, beat Morgan Alpha. Alright, so we're gonna start the show. Honestly, I think Team Blue's draft was pretty solid, except for Morgana. I think Matt Cobb will heavily suffer the second half of Chamber 2, especially against Pug.
For this distraction, as you realize he was blessed, and as well as the old assignment. That's right, relax.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, here we go. So it's the 5-star weapon on Niquel. It's Love, Official, but only C4 weapon. What a shame. Not a C4. But oh well.
Yeah, it's a flat streaming out on day one as I noticed, and for some reason you have Kill the Dreams on official. Yeah, I don't really know what it does, but Official has one of that.
Yeah, so Official has 200 yeah.
Yeah, it's also a it's a market control.
I didn't know they changed the name of the durian.
I guess true damage.
So, extra work.
I guess it doesn't make sense to put the hearty
Conventional stuff.
part anymore.
But in this case, you know what? I would definitely support these. This one will be the main yes, and fortunately, it's not.
All the spells are enabled, so my only choice now is to get them
It's not
to...
even gonna benefit from the Petra buff.
Well,
Yeah, and despite all of that, this thing was hitting like a truck, regardless of all we said, but I think it would have helped our damage overall. I would have much preferred seeing, like, as a illustrious one, the first time in the draft. I would
I'd like to
seeing
save the
him
stalkers.
down on a Coral pick, C6 instead of official. He has one, because it would have given more damage than thing one injector damage. And you can, like, clear the first and second floor faster, perhaps.
Leonox and
like, just be like,
Talus
yeah, you know
are
what? I cannot win the assignment floor, but it's okay.
manageable enough.
But nonetheless, still finishing off the first half. Only 81 seconds. That's a moment. Right on the side of Team World on the game, you go double crowns. And you know what I noticed? None of these characters are at level 90. They're either 80, 84, or 85.
Yeah, I think that's the case of like, as long as you ascend them, you get the, you know, like the ascension bonuses anyways. You don't really necessarily need to level them one time. It doesn't really do too much. Just if you're mid-maxing, you maybe will see visuals, but that's about it.
I feel personally attacked. But seriously though, I see R5 have been made on Sucrose, and I just wanted to comment that I really, really like that choice. So as we already know, Sucrose, an excellent enabler it's Electro Pump, but on top of that, okay, how much range gives all the right party members 20% elemental damage bonus for elements that is reactive. And you know that Sucrose can slow actually very easy. And on top of that, she can swim Nahida's Dendro, so if you put a Nahida pick effect, which blocks. Brilliant.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's what does bring out the best you mentioned, oh, the F1 trick, so he's gonna collect the particles all the time frozen, which is a good way to not waste any time getting the particles as well. Now, I wanted to mention earlier that Nico is actually running Kill the Dreams. Yeah, Nico.
Nice.
Oh, and 82 seconds, so pretty close.
dance party and not do support. Because usually, ideally, like everybody does the that's gonna be very unfortunate. It's gonna cause some I'm surprised that Syntax didn't offer putting this comp in the first half and the other one in the second. Because the shield, the only shield and all that benefit a lot more against affecting like a small beta shield and also like an electro dendro reactions together is better against your side. So yeah, I think I would have been much better, but nonetheless, that was unfortunate. You got hit the road.
Oh, I also want to say that implementations won't matter. Otherwise, a lot of charge happening, which is not much. One behind. So,
That's weird.
But since the beta show isn't like very sustainable, like you have to like quick swap a lot, right? Even against this smaller mobs, not even the Yankees yet, always gonna do a lot of damage. And yeah, like considering all that, I'm really surprised that he decided to opt in
there's some-
TTS choice. Like, sure, the TTS can work out.
Those were stealth
Like,
Trout.
they're perfect. Otherwise, I think the same route for other superstar options. Yeah, but the
now it's Illuminated with one on you. I have so much to say about this comp, okay? So, first of all, obviously, she has her signature Amos weapon. She's level 82, the Ganyu. So again, not level 90, but 82. Not even 85, okay? But anyways, so what I wanted to say is that Ganyu here is running Double Fire Resonance plus 4 pieces Blizzard. Now, I personally would have loved to see a focus true since she's running Amos anyways. But essentially, I wanted to see an opposite of my mother. Like, real talk, an opposite. The reason is because later on, especially against TTS on Dota, will be hard to aim on the Ganyu because surely she will get used right and she will be slow meaning she won't get the stacks of Amos and she won't get the full duration of the TTS level either. That's why I'm not having Amos on run around with extra
yeah, I gotta say, like, rotations as far as was there. TPS is gonna make it type rotations, but I mean, if that was the case, I would prefer much seeing a HP Sans on Diona getting a better shield, right? Because you don't need overkill on PR in your team fight, as that key is already giving an energy boost effect to the element. Same element. And moving on to the 412 Chamber 2 now. This is where only the
Sure. And this works with it and on top of that, over quite a bit of damage. Plus, you know, their combos are just super strong.
Yeah, personally, I got outpaid them, and I played him on this floor. I did not run a shield user. Those days, they killed me a lot of times, let me tell you. You can slip up a bit, don't respect the little underground count. Straight up, it's great.
Hey, how much to say this? That's a skill issue.
You're not wrong, but listen, when there's so many animations going on the screen, guys, I don't know about you, unless you're a pro gamer, you know, all of them done. So that's why people like me they like that shield. Very
Yeah. Why need skills if you can have shields?
Yeah, and Syntax has both, so has skill and shield. Just gonna show us how it's done. Because with shield, you can totally afford dodge. You can just sit and just on the other.
I was gonna say, it actually really makes patient. Making sure that it has its own first.
Yeah, that's I mean, his link form is very, very strong actually. But like I said earlier, it's surprising. Like, this one would have normal on top of it. Would have played the experience.
It's a free game, but there are a lot
Let's see. Oh, abusing F1 strategy again.
See, you'll repeat the Marco while time is frozen.
of
And,
overlap between League of Legends and Genshin Impact, it seems. Lots of players who play Genshin also play League of Legends and other such MOBAs. So there's a lot of terms that are typically used in MOBAs that are being used in Genshin, which I find rather frustrating. And the worst part is I've gotten used to it as well, calling normal attacks auto attacks and your burst your ult.
You sound like you're checkmate server. Doing all of that.
Genshin MOBA when?
Honestly, just
I already know now that in the first ever 50. So technically I lost my first ever 50.
so she was your very first 5-star character.
I thought we were like anxious really good.
And yeah, this is gonna be with third down only in 66 seconds. Very, very quick. And here is where trouble is gonna arise for the rest of the next. Fatal Shield isn't the most reliable. That also means he has to dodge really well, or swap characters more often, making it hard to get the full value of the
Whenever I fight them, I literally think, prepare for trouble, make it triple. This is literally it.
Yeah, this is actually fighting something except the actually on the bracket, not not bad this time around.
Yeah, a little tip actually. Stick on the main one. I mean, if Galloping Cross and the local has a very big chance to just stick around too. So you can just AoE them after.
Yeah, we saw that Reddit because he put a dish out a huge amount of damage from his combo there, so he does deal quite a lot of damage from Pearl, so that's very, very good.
I think the Hydra Blue is here. Oh no, getting frozen. So what makes a jellyfish the initial cast will actually apply the wet status.
Ooh.
Yeah, but for, it's not like Barbara where like, all the PV's gonna get wet and like frozen. So it's only gonna be the initial turn, second, castable percent.
At long last.
That's a lot, honestly. Honestly, Syntax did a pretty good job surviving the onslaught of the...
I have every skill now. Well, there's still the run skill. It's lost to Sheikah apparently. Even though I actually already have that.
So the Yellow Frost has
It doesn't seem to be working all that well though.
Yeah, and I want to show here, it's not gonna be like too strong to tank them out. Apple's bows, he's gonna have to quick fumble, so I don't know how he's gonna be able to stack up the Apple. I think if he does own the Aqua, it would be better, but you know, he's Welkin, so maybe he just has it.
Also put Zion 7 HP Krynos. That's very low for a Diona, seriously. I don't think the shield's gonna... It's not as at all, actually. Even with 5 Icy Palm hitting.
As long as he's able to let the dog damage from the filter, I think that's where it goes damage. Well,
yeah, speaking of the Mona, actually, I think I would have wanted to see some TPS Mona instead of a TPS, and it would help tremendously.
yeah, I mean, either that or I think just having an AP sense on the Diona tremendously good. Apple, so it's that.
Then again, you know what? I don't have having every 200 guarantee that you burst all the time. So please we know that there's no one.
Alright, this will definitely hurt,
Yeah, I mean,
but it will let me get the Master Sword just a bit faster.
Don, you have to really I think though I would prefer having a bigger
Financially,
better than
especially.
relying on the energy. Will cost you a lot of time to end up getting it as
That's the thing though, you have to know which abilities you can afford to take versus which hits you can't afford to take. Because some hits are one-shot, some are not that bad. Some
I didn't agree to anything yet.
you into death.
100 HP, Ganyu almost went to the grave there. Luckily enough, you switch off at the same time. But as we discussed earlier in the draft, this would have been hard and this struggle with levels, right? And I rarely see that.
Yeah, we can definitely see it. The timer's already at 6:26 right now, so that wouldn't start clear.
But unfortunately, you know, like Destin's they don't own them, so they don't own all the characters, so maybe this was his, best slot here. Like, maybe everyone else would think, but there's like so many other DPS choices. Guys, remember, they only have
Okay,
limited
the
amount
price
of
is the same.
time on it, so
For this guy.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I mean, only Massive Terror is left remaining, so I think definitely here that English just lost a lot of time, so that might give that's a lot of time. But has a pretty good chance.
And good thing for Illustrious because he has all his waves ready for his children.
That might take a lot more time than that.
Only 290.
And now we have the last file. But I think here is where Syntax will have a lot of hard time where Illustrious can catch back up. Does happen. Exciting. Very smart for manipulation of the Nick 1 case. Honestly, I've never seen a Nick 1 on this board, but he does quite a lot of it.
I wonder if this guy will still be here
I also did notice that
in Tears of the Kingdom.
very smart. Jade Stars. Again, like, unfortunately, there though, both Jade Springs consumed. Inside.
1, 2, 3,
And also
4,
having
5,
C6 alongside does help
6,
have
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And also, Geo, like now, quite effortlessly. And it's not official, and it's signed
And I want to say that, don't you think that Nick 1 should have been a 5-star? This not a definite.
They did my girl dirty for real. So her all the time, and she's honestly very
Now I actually have enough. Alright, let's try to be efficient here. How can I... Oh, there's a Mount Lanayru in the fucking way.
It's not abuse, it's a tactical strategy of the display of skill here.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Analyze reactions issue.
I think teleporting is indeed my best
Utilizing F1, but then
choice.
Nikita didn't quite
I'll get another
first
one
fully
soon enough.
charged.
Although I could have just teleported from the very beginning.
we'll see if skill issue plays into part or not.
I have a fire rod. I can probably risk going to Mount Rainier. Why not? As well make use of this speed buff.
Yeah, this was really quick in April. This was on a debuff on the assignments and you can see where he's at.
Okay, but the background music is good.
It's lit up.
There's
I
the
think-
theme, I love it.
It's lit up like a assignment right now. I'm about to go down.
Yeah, I love it. And he did it in only 75 seconds.
Mistress, you would have the assignment for 30 seconds faster than setbacks. That was to be expected, but due to aggravate comp along with you mispressing side.
And this will be annoying though.
Yeah, so far, the times are relatively close, and
I have way less stamina now.
last chamber, the second, this will be turning everything.
I'm right back to how I was in the beginning of the game. Dang it. Stamina wise at least.
And you know what, Chaos? I wanted to talk about a little bit of stamina management. So it's honestly the creative aspect of the game, but
It's
you
very
see,
important.
A player playing this distinct they're okay, they're great. By the way, that they manage stamina. Like I said earlier, you have to calculate which hits you're forced to take and which ones you dodge. Because if you dodge every single incoming attack, you will run out of stamina, right?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This is something that I'm very interested in seeing, especially this floor. But as I'm saying that, we can see they don't get unfortunately.
Second time.
Durability duties.
Into a stunned state, and then we'll have minus 50% resistance against their own respective elements. So it's kind of how it works.
Yeah. And I think with that being said, there's not much left here. Just have to
So another little strat, target the airmates on the side.
Not really.
The one in the middle will it might teleport near you, so then you have to get to they only both, and then take care of the last one.
yeah, you get the chance
Reaction so strong, and the challenge completed in 34 seconds for a total of 619. Okay, so let's see. I'm excited, but it looks
got the perfect score. 6.
Oh, stop it. Okay, so
Yeah, I think Morgana here is gonna have a lot of easier time picking them up. Because he has that
exactly. This is really where the Morgana combo will shine. Venti's burst was looking
Alright, so they only have 10 durability. Wow.
Oh, the bubbles are so annoying in their RNG too.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
gosh.
as long as the buttons up for the bubble, the issue just needs to dodge them and take it for it.
Yeah, so Venti's burst here cannot absorb the 3 animates because they are not in their stunned state. But as soon as the pets are taken down, then Venti's burst will be able to absorb them.
Because the enemies are frozen, cannot retaliate, that also means having a weaker shield and running that ER Sands and Leona won't be an issue for Illustrious.
Yeah. Look at that grouping and the freeze, but we will have no issue taking that. The last one remaining.
The final shot right about now is here for the board.
Woo! And challenge completed in 78 seconds for a total of 579. And congrats to Illustrious from Kingdom for winning the Genshin Championship.
What a great performance from Illustrious, putting their user 579 seconds to take the victory over Syntax, and now that makes Team Movie 4-0 in the championship series.
Yeah, I hope that Team Aether will find his victory very soon. A big thank you to Lucius and Tax for participating in this competition and for showing spectacular performances as well as unique moves. Special thanks to our producer Rin as well. Now, if you're interested in participating in future championships and if you want to appear in our videos, then please join our Discord server, the link in the description box below. The Discord server's name is Happy Gaming Pets, and upon joining, get instructions on how to proceed and how to get into the competition. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you for the next one.
Roger, see you next time, guys.
Bye!
Phantasm will release an arcade in November 2012 and will continue Arx's quest to make the weirdest title in fighting game history. Unlike continuing chip, Chrono Phantasma saw several balance changes too, in addition to the gameplay. For starters, you can now spin a quarter of your heat gauge to do a guard break, and I love this addition. Nothing feels quite as good as hitting your opponent who won't stop blocking with a guard break and then comboing that right into a super. But easily the biggest addition was Overdrive. This is a rechargeable ability that is triggered by hitting all 4 buttons. This will send you into overdrive mode, where your character will receive multiple buffs. But not basic stuff that you would expect, like increased speed and strength. No, in overdrive mode, every single character gets some kind of a unique buff that leads into their playstyle. For example, remember how I said Taker has the ability to magnetize demons? Normally after you magnetize them, you have to hit the drive button to pull Mindy. But in Overdrive, they're just feedback you right into you at all times. Makoto can hit her drive 3 different punches depending on how long you hold the button down. But in Overdrive, that punch is at max strength at all times. Brillious normally burns up a special meter whenever he's using his puppet, but in Overdrive, that meter gradually recovers. I love the Overdrive system because not only does it reward you for knowing your character inside out, but I said that the drive system helps make every single character feel like they come from a completely different game, and the Overdrive system leans even further into that. And in addition to this, the Overdrive also grants you another more basic yet still very satisfying buff. While in Overdrive, all your supers are enhanced into more powerful versions. So even if you're picking up a brand new character and you haven't learned them yet, use that Overdrive and enjoy your new and improved Overdrive finish. Or don't use the Overdrive and hold on to it and save it to get the enemy off you, because your Overdrive is also now how you do burns. Yes, they once again decided to tinker around with the burst mechanic, but you know what? I think they finally nailed it. Now I have to decide, do I want to get the opponent off of me, or do I want to do extra damage? Fighting games are all about choices, and Overdrive is great for that. There are also other tweaks to make the combat quicker, but perhaps my favorite update for this game, your heat gauge increases way faster. Real talk, when recording this video, it was hard for me to get some of those actual finishes in the previous game, because my meter just would not build fast enough. I actually got time over in some matches trying to get 100% meter, because it just rose that slowly. But now, yeah, there's no problem. Your meter rises nice and quick. Heck, I even got enough meter in some matches to do a super, and then I still had enough by the end of the match to do the insta-kill. And thanks to the quicker and smoother combat, it makes comboing into your finisher way easier. So yeah, I don't know if you can tell from the tone of my voice, but I like this game. I love the combat. I said it really strong and great move and improved gameplay, and sure, I like the I enjoyed the game. But once you learn Phantasma, I was very into this game. It was actually hard for me to put this game down and then move on to the next one because I just wanted to keep playing this. But the combat wasn't the only thing that seemed hugely cool for the last game. The midway shows lots of here, you count random. The first thing that goes is several variations. First up is Azrael, one of the big villains of the series. He's an insanely strong criminal who's obsessed only with fighting, and when it comes to the war, he might be the most OP character in the entire series. Like, he's so strong, he can rip through reality just by flexing his muscles. Then there's Egoy. Remember how he said that Tsubaki was using an ancient Vermar that was kind of eating her brain? Yeah, this is her after becoming completely possessed by that Vermar and turning into sort of a wholly futuristic executioner. There's a lot of initially. These answers were using traveling theaters that reflect the stars and maps that put the girls. They're very mysterious and constantly doing what they should be with the knowledge that they should have. We'll talk about them more when we cover the story. And speaking of the story, our last character is Bullet. A character who the BlazBlue fandom constantly dunks on for being the least important character to the plot. Yeah, Bullet's importance to the story is the source of positive emotion for the fan base, but I gotta take umbrage with that. Bullet was a member of a group of mercenaries, and her entire squad was wiped out. It appears that her captain may still be alive at Sector 7, and she's out to find him. How mysterious. I wonder what could possibly be. So yeah, she doesn't actually play into the overall plot. I mean, actually there is a moment in the story where she is hanging out with another character who is very important to the story, and then the next time we see that character, Bullet is nowhere to be seen, and she never comes up again. So yes, I understand all the jokes. But I got news for you guys. A lot of characters in these games don't play into the overall plot. Bullet at least provides some backstory and depth to the other characters, so hey, I'm cool with her. Yeah, she's got a crazy unique drive. She puts a ring around herself, and you get inside of that ring when she's charging it, she will instantly run in and grapple you. Also worth pointing out that New 13 returned. Although they lost Lambda, who again was just New 13. So again, not really a new character, more just BlazBlue's continuous game of robot musical chairs. Now, none of the characters from the arcade release, but when it came to the consoles, they did add another character, Pyra Booski, one of the strongest fighters on the planet and to have the NOL's elite guards. And also a truck party animal who hits on everything that's so I guess you could say there's a lot of layers to it.
Seriously, something from the sky. Don't wait more else.
Okay, maybe not a ton of layers, but there's something. His drive lets him take a stance, and while in the stance, all his attacks do brand new moves, which can make doing his combos a little bit difficult, but he hits like a truck, so it's all good. Now, that was the only new console character, and in an interview with Silvanera, Gordon made sure to say that Chrono Phantasma would not have any DLC characters, but that was it. That was the roster you were going to get for this game. So anyway, the two DLC characters were Kokonoi. Yeah, remember her? Well, the sassy scientist finally jumped into the fray, summoning out weapons from portals, and her drive sets up gravity traps that allow for all kinds of crazy mix-up. If there's even a trophy that you can get in the game, that involves using their gravity devices to keep the opponent airborne for most of the match. By the way, quick note, I don't know who came up with the names for the trophies in this game, but I want them to know I see you, and I appreciate you. These were great A+ trophy names all around. Good job. And the second DLC character was Yuki Terumi. Now, who is Yuki Terumi? He's the big villain of the entire series. He is the one who forced Chin to cut Rackus farm off as a kid, and all this time he's been a spirit living inside of Kazuma, and now the two of them have separated, and he's free, and he's ready to just be the biggest a-hole imaginable. Seriously, his attacks are designed solely to make you feel bad. They are so dehumanizing. And his drive steals your heat gauge and adds to his own, giving him a ton of meter to burn through throughout the fight. And you know what, while we're talking about these brand new characters, I'm going to jump around a bit, because 1 year after this game in console, Update Edition came out called Chrono Phantasma Extend. And for starters, the game brought Lambda back, meaning that now you had you and Lambda together for all your robot sword spamming needs. And also, it introduced a brand new character, Celica A. Mercury. Celica has a mountain of lore behind her that we are going to save for the next video, but what you need to know about her is that she is a super smart, kind-hearted soul, empathic that doesn't want anyone to fight and they want everyone to get along. Doesn't really sound like someone you'd expect to find in a fighting game, right? Well, don't worry, because Kokonoi built her a robot partner who does all the fighting for her, giving her some of the best animations in the game. I love her Astral Heat, where she heals your entire life bar back, only for her robot to fly into the sky and then take you out when she's not looking. It is loaded with so much personality.
Josuke.
No, the combat's better, the gas is great. isn't there to like about this game? Well, I'll admit, most people won't care about this, but there is one nitpick that I have with this installment. As I said, I really enjoyed Abyss mode in the last game, and it does return for this game, but it's a little different now, and yeah, it's not as fun. The basic premise is the same. You're still making your way through a tower of battle and gain various buffs along the way, but now the buffs to your stats that you get remain whenever you start a brand new run. You don't have to purchase them all over again, which might sound like a good thing, but it means that they just keep stacking forever. So this isn't really a roguelike anymore where you have to figure out how to get the best run. You basically just keep playing through and getting stronger and stronger until you can steamroll your opponents no problem. So it kind of takes some of the challenge element and makes it just feel like you're grinding in an RPG. Well, we're talking about single player mode, we have to bring up the story. Total Phantasma, the story mode received a massive overhaul. Gone were the days where every single character had their own unique story instead of only 3 stories. A story focusing on Sector 7, and a story focusing on the 6 legendary heroes. And to get to the end of the game, you had to complete each of them. But hey, we're going from 12 stories in the first game and 7 mandatory stories in the second game to only 3. Great, that means this story mode will be easy to get through. I'll be able to clear through this thing in no time.
Nice.
Crap. Well, I don't know why. I looked that number up before starting this game, just trying to get how much time I would need to skip recording, and I thought, no way is that real? That's gotta be fake. That's gotta be like the story mode and the arcade mode with multiple different routes, right? Nope.
Running.
That's the story mode, all on its own. There are some bonus side stories that they added and extend, and of course the gag stories return, which are always appreciated, but that main storyline is so long, I didn't have time for any of that. This thing is a beast. Yeah, this game hit arcades in November 2012, but they didn't come to home consoles until October of the next year. And it took another 6 months for it to be released outside of Japan, and I can pretty much guarantee you that was all thanks to the tidal wave of text that is this game's story mode. Folks, I'm not going to criticize this story. No, I think the actual plot itself is just fine, but the density of this story is intimidating, and I'm not just speaking for myself. I talked about this a lot on social media, and I got so many replies from people saying, yeah, Chrono Phantasma is where I checked out. Like, even I started wondering if I should even bother trying to summarize this story because I understood Calamity Trigger. I understood Continuum Ship. Chrono Phantasma left me with several questions. I had to ask around for the answers, and luckily a lot of people were willing to help me out, including some folks from the BlazBlue wikis. And they cleared up a lot for me, but there's still some small nitty-gritty details that I got no clue on. And the extended version adds even more to the story, such as
Try
backgrounds,
stealing
some
the weapon.
characters, some bonus gag reels, and a brand new mini light novel called Remix Heart Guided, which is based on the manga BlazBlue Remix Heart. This focuses on Mai Natsumi, one of Noah's classmates, who was actually born a boy but was then transformed into a girl through an Ars Vegas, only for their father to then kick them out of the house because they hated this change, and now Mai lives in the NOL Academy dorms and is worried about their friends learning their secret. But over time, it was thanks to these friends that she was able to learn that she didn't need her father's approval, and she even came to not only accept but even love the new life that she had. I've actually seen a lot of love and support from Mai being translated, because even though her situation is very unique and is full of sci-fi magical elements, a lot of people find things about her relationships and her journey that they relate to. So, this game took the story elements of the previous games and skyrocketed into brand new levels that were quite simply maddening at times. But you want to know the really frustrating thing about this story mode?
Dang it, I give up.
There is a secret additional mode that you can unlock, but only after finishing this monumental story, and this additional mode is actually really fun. You see, in the story, you end up facing off against this giant monster called Takemi Mizuchi, and after beating the game, you unlock the Highlander Assault mode, where you can then challenge Takemi Mizuchi with any character. And if you're looking for a challenge, this is it. In story mode, Takemi Mizuchi isn't all that bad, but in this mode, oh man,
Give me the
I
vote.
lost count of how many times I've died to this thing. He's got huge screen-clearing attacks that deal massive damage, while other attacks barely chip away at him. And eventually, it puts out there's so many obstacles that are constantly firing at you, it magically turns this thing into a shrub shooter. But when you finally beat him, oh, it feels so good. I'm shocked that you just put this in the game already unlocked at the escape
I
version.
didn't.
would love to tell
I've never
people
been
to
in
play,
this
but
place
I
before.
don't know if I can tell them to sit through a 12-hour-long story mode just to get here. Again, I have to stress, this story is alright, the plot is actually pretty intriguing, the characters are great, but you could have easily told this thing in half the time and far more coherently. But massive labyrinth of a story mode aside, I still love Chrono Phantasma. The combat reached close to perfection for me, so many of the new characters are incredibly fun, and you can still buy the extended version of this game, not just on Steam like all the other games, but on modern consoles as well. But after all of this, where can you go? Well, Ori described Chrono Phantasma as being roughly 80% of the way through the story.
What the hell is
and
this?
we were quickly approaching that finale, so the very next game was going to be the one that brought this epic tale to an end. Arcade in November 2015, and no, I don't know why every single arcade release of Playthrough came out in November. That's just a really weird coincidence. Or the entire secret to the lore is hidden in there somewhere. Either way, I'm not figuring it out. And yes, folks, you heard correct. This game was the finale to the Playthrough saga. Or at least the intended original saga. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but in addition to all these games coming out in November, they all share something else in common. Every single one of them has a subtitle that begins with the letter C. And that was intentional, as these 4 games were referred to as the C series and were meant to be one continuous storyline, with the original plan to continue BlazBlue on with a brand new cast of characters and a new plotline later on. But, we'll get to that later. For now, let's see how this series went out. In terms of gameplay, guess what? There were several small changes and rebalancing once again. Shocking, right? However, compared to from the first game to the second game, and the second game to the third game, I feel the changes between Chrono Phantasma and Central Fiction aren't nearly as big. Chrono Phantasma feels like a completely different game from Continuum Shift. Central Fiction feels like a really polished version of Chrono Phantasma. The only 2 big changes is that now, when you go into your overdrive mode, you can once again press all 4 buttons to activate Exceed Excel, which is just a really fancy way of saying a free super. Yet your generating Super Saiyan meter also gives you a free super on the house now. It's nuts and I love it. And what makes this even better is the other brand new mechanic, Active Flow. This is a state that your character can enter when you've continuously been playing aggressive for a period of time, such as continuously attacking the opponent or constantly going in on them. Once activated, your damage increases. More importantly, your overdrive meter recovers quicker. So you pop overdrive, do some major damage, come out of overdrive, but then you keep attacking and you'll charge that drive back up in no time. Listen, I'll admit, I'm a super Unga Bunga fighter. I love going in and being aggressive in fighting games, which is just my really nice way of saying I'm kind of stupid and I just like hitting buttons. So if you give me a mechanic that rewards being aggressive, I'm on board. As for the new content, this game introduced Speed Start mode, where you have to beat a set number of characters in a limited amount of time, but you can get bonus time by pulling off certain achievements. Again, really impressive how BlazBlue continued to come up with interesting single-player modes that are really addictive, all while using the resources already in the game itself. And speaking of that, Abyss mode returns. God, it is weird this time. I put about 8 hours into Abyss mode in Central Fiction, and I didn't understand what I was doing until about halfway through that. Okay,
Bruh.
let's see if I can explain this without chewing through my own tongue. There are now 8 different towers, each with 100 floors divided into easy, medium, and hard. But now you have to equip a grimoire before going into combat. Grimoire will decide how much of a boost you can get to your stats, and you can equip skills to those grimoires. Am I saying grimoires too much? Too bad, because I'm not stopping. You unlock new skills after each local fight, and new grimoire after every 20th floor boss fight. As you fight, you will rank up your character, which lets you increase your stats. But you will also rank up your grimoire. Once your grimoire is maxed out, you can then destroy it and get all the skills in there back, but now those skills will level up into stronger versions of themselves. Problem is, grimoires can only hold skills up to a certain rank, and if you level a skill up too much, it might rank up, and then you might not have a grimoire that can handle it. So, okay, it's admittedly a little bit more complicated than the previous games, And I'm really torn on it, because on the one hand, it relies way too much on luck now. You don't get to pick your skills or your grimoires, they just give you one at random. So you might have to grind like crazy to get a grimoire that can actually handle the skills that you have. And to make matters worse, they put way too many roadblocks in your way, because there's one more tower in here, the Boss Rush Tower. These are a series of fights against insanely strong opponents with flat-out nutty abilities. I'm talking stuff like only takes damage from counters. Their defense is so high that you can't damage them, but they lose defense each time you knock them down. Or my personal favorite, unlimited astral heats.
Why?
I bring this up because you start out only being able to challenge the easy tower. Want to move up to medium and get some stronger grimoires? You have to beat 3 of these bosses. Same goes for moving from medium to hard. So, you need strong grimoires to challenge these bosses. You have a small chance of getting the grimoires that you need in the tower that you're in. Meaning, you have to just keep grinding through them until you get lucky. So, yeah, the luck and grind factor is way too strong in this mode. That being said, the boss rush mode with these busted abilities is a really fun idea. And once I finally did get a strong grimoire, I was able to level up my skills insane levels. In the previous games, the regeneration ability was practically worthless. The rate at which it would heal your life back was practically nothing. But I got up to level 7 in this game, and now I was healing back faster than the computer could damage me. Building an unstoppable force and then trying to take on the computer's immovable object was good old broken fun. But yeah, even with these problems, I still got hooked on this mode and put way too much time into it. Again, fighting game developers, making single-player content for your games is way easier than you might think. Just get weird with the resources that you already have and do something creative with it, and I'll play it for hours no matter how busted it is. Hey, a lot of people aren't going to go for the big, crazy side modes. They want to stick to the basics, like arcade mode. Thank God Central Fiction decided to get weird with that too. Thanks to some reality warping muckety muck that I won't go into right now, almost every single character in this roster has not 1, not 2, but 3 arcade ladders, with unique fights, boss battles, and endings for each of them. The most important thing when it comes to your single-player content in a fighting game is figuring out a way to make your players want to keep using a character over and over. No one wants to just re-challenge the exact same arcade ladder or story mode over and over again with the exact same one character. So, giving them not only a bunch of different modes that you can use those characters in that I already mentioned, but also 3 different arcade modes? Oh man, I can't lie. Even when I had all the footage that I needed for this video, I still found myself going, I like this character, I enjoy playing as them, and they still got 2 more arcade ladders. I mean, it can't hurt to go back in there again, right? Just to make sure I didn't miss something important. And what makes these triple arcade ladders even more impressive is the roster size. Including the DLC, there are a total of 36 characters. How big is 36 characters? Sounds like that sounds like a thing. Holy shit! Yeah, that is the power of reusing assets. You want to get a jaw-dropping roster size with 3 arcade ladders for everyone? Use what you already have. As for the new character, there's Hibiki Kohaku. He's the serious and professional assistant who keeps the slovenly Kagura in line. But he's also a very skilled assassin, and his drive ability lets him send out shadow duplicates across the field. It's worth noting that for BlazBlue's 10th anniversary, ArcSys held a character popularity poll, and despite only being playable in 1 game, Hibiki came in 3rd. People love this guy. Probably because he's just an Attack on Titan character. You remember when Mori said they made these stories just by putting a bunch of stuff they likes together? Yeah, it ain't even subtle on this one. Then there's Naoto Kurogane, who originally appeared in the manga spin-off BlazBlue Blood and Experience. He has a boatload of lore behind him, but to try and keep this as simple as possible, he's basically an alternate reality version of Ragnar. I promise you that's the simplest way I can explain it. He got sucked into this world looking for his friend Raquel, and now he's living through the BlazBlue Isekai as he tries to find a way back home. He's mostly known for having crazy quick record attacks and dash cancels to extend his combos. I remember a few years ago for a charity stream I picked Naoto up for the very first time, and I'll never forget that someone in the chat said, quote, Say goodbye to your thumbs. Yeah, that's a pretty accurate warning for Naoto, alright. Then we move into the three big villains of the game, starting with Izanami, who is essentially the god of death. There is way more to her story though, but we'll save all that for part 2. And she definitely wears that grim, deathly nature on her big sleeves. Some of the creepiest supers and astral heats in the entire series. Then there's Nine the Phantom, one of these 6 legendary heroes who, after spending 100 years at the Boundary, kinda went nuts and is ready to burn everything down. If you're a fan of this channel, you've definitely heard me bring up Nine before, because she has got one of my favorite fighting game gimmicks of any character ever. Each of her 3 basic buttons are linked to an elemental attack. Then, when you hit your drive button, you do a unique attack based on whatever the last 3 elements were that you used. She literally makes a witch's brew in the match with her attacks as ingredients. That's genius. Lastly, there's Susanoo, the final baddie of the entire series, and Yuki Terami's true form. And Nine might have my favorite gimmick, but Susanoo is a close second. You see all those locks down there at the bottom of the screen? Those are his special moves, and you can only use one of them when the match begins. However, whenever you attack the opponent, a highlight will appear over the different locks. Then when you hit the drive button, whatever attack is highlighted will be unlocked. That may sound really complicated and it might scare some people off from trying him, but all of his attacks flow and link together so smoothly that even if you've never unlocked any of his specials, you can still have a ton of fun with him and he can still do some massive damage. And while we're talking about Susanoo, I have to bring this up. He has got one of the best themes in this entire series. It is a hard rock thrash metal song called Must Die. You know your character has reached ultimate edge status when their theme is called Must Die. In fact, you know what? I haven't drawn it up yet because I was waiting for this exact moment right now. BlazBlue has amazing music all around. I mentioned that Guilty Gear's creator Daisuke Ishiwatari did the score for this game, and if you know Daisuke Ishiwatari, you know his music goes all in. There are so many amazing themes in this game. Makoto's is this adventurous, upbeat song. This Sector 7 theme has this smooth, poppy, almost mechanical, getting stuff done vibe. Adriel has one of the best threatening double themes ever. And Meg Shishigami has the ultimate put it on at the gym Saturday morning superhero theme. There are so many features in this game's soundtrack, and again, the fact that they kept reusing assets and kept bringing back characters, and that they kept bringing back their score, so by the time you get to Central Fiction, you just have balls-of-wall bangers all over the place. Now, back to Susanoo, I should mention that he was an unlockable character, but you could also buy him some DLC to get him instantly. And considering that the way to unlock him was to beat the story mode, long-ass story mode, yeah, nobody's going to judge you for just buying him. This isn't like Mortal Kombat 11 where you play the story mode for an hour and then you unlock Frost, but they still decide to try and sell her to you anyways. No, there's legitimate reasons to just go ahead and fork over the cash.
That's kind of mean.
There were 3 other DLC characters. S, a robotic girl who comes from a spin-off game and has a mountain of lore behind her, but the only thing that you really need to know in this game is that she was summoned by the Azure itself to be its guardian. Then there's Mai Natsume. You remember her from the light novel last time? She finally gets to jump into the fray, and she fights with a giant spear that deals major damage and has huge range. Then the final character to be added, Jubei. Yes, a character who has been in this story ever since the very beginning was finally playable. Ben spent years asking for Jubei to be playable, and I'd like to think that's why he was saved until the end. I mean, if you gotta go out, might as well go out on the character everyone wants. Now once again, there is a gigantic story mode, and once again, they changed up the structure, but I actually dig it this time. Now, you only have one story, but after you complete a chapter, of which there are 100 by the way, just to give you an idea of this game's length,
Why?
whenever you complete a certain chapter, then you'll unlock a side story. These stories are long, some of them are only about 5 minutes, some of them are so short I could show you their entirety right now as I am saying this sentence. But these side stories show you what other characters are doing during the moments of the main plot. Kind of reminds me of when a comic book company does a massive crossover event, that's all contained within the main storyline, but then you got a tie-in issue over here that may or may not focus on something important and just shows you what the other characters are up to. Now, as for the story itself, it's close to as long as Chrono Phantasma's, but it is far more comprehensive. Granted, that's not really saying much, but I could at least understand most of it. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that this time, we finally got answers to some of the biggest questions in the entire series. Things that have been bugging me since the very first game were finally explored here. And that's great. But there is one small issue that I have with the story this time. Honestly, the entire game itself, really. You see, BlazBlue has been very lucky to not have any huge controversies. Each game sold pretty decently, there were no big behind-the-scenes disputes. At least over at ArcSys. But this game was distributed by ArcSys. And yes, that did confuse me for several reasons. They were the ones responsible for the English dub, and on August 24th, 2016, just a little on all consoles, ArcSys took to Twitter and announced that because it would take about 6 months to do a dub, they were going to skip it this time and just put the game out with the Japanese track. And hey, that's understandable. I mean, I was upset to not get the English dub, but when these games are getting more competitive online scenes, so everybody needs to be able to start playing at the exact same time, and you run the risk of the conclusion of the storyline being spoiled over those 6 months. Yeah, that's 2 good reasons to skip the dub, so that way you can run at the exact same time. What isn't understandable, though, is the fact that none of the English cast members were told about this. Yeah, the English cast, who had been with this game for close to a decade, found out they were not going to be coming back from this very tweet. Which, even if you don't care about the English dub, you have to admit that's maybe the most dickish way of telling someone their services are no longer needed. Patrick Seitz, the voice of Ragna, the script adapter and voice director for Continuum Shift Extend, and the guy who arranged for all the voice actors to be in the BlazBlue anime, in other words, a guy who is kind of a big deal for this game, took a Facebook after this announcement and wrote, quote, "Disappointed by the news, and I'm especially disappointed to be gated via tweet. Reaching out to the cast would have been a simple controversy for ArcSys instead. Maybe they think we don't much care either way, but many of us do. No, I do. The LDR version, BlazBlue Central Fiction, isn't getting dubbed. I'm sad about. I read about how personally I found out, and not putting any particular stock in a dub happening after the fact. After all this time, it hurts to be told that we're not so central to the fiction after all. And a very personal appeal and some solid wordplay. Not one of the only ones upset. Games.org petition was launched to prove to ArcSys that they wanted the English dub to be. Petition that ended up gaining 6,656 signatures. God damn it, guys, you were 10 away from getting a very appropriate number for this series. Well, as upset as people were about this decision, it didn't really translate to the review. The game received generally the same positive scores as the previous game. And while sales history for this game isn't available, based upon physical copies sold and going off of Steam Spy's digital records, it looks like the game ended up selling around 700 to 800,000 copies, which sure isn't as high as the first game, but it is a good coverage for a game like this that just keeps changing and growing and building upon the previous game rather than trying to reset itself to slowly lose players over time. But hey, 700 to 800,000 was still pretty high for an Arc Systems game, and it remains incredibly popular in the FGC to this day. If you go to any tournament anywhere, you're going to see a Central Fiction pool. And ArcSys realized the popularity of this game because after Guilty Gear Strive saw a huge success largely thanks to their smooth rollback netcode, they announced out of nowhere that they were going to go back and patch rollback into the Steam version. Now, I don't exactly remember when the rollback got added to this game, but checking Steam charts, I don't think it was around here. Not here. I feel like it was somewhere around here. So
only
if you want to get
50?
into this game and you don't want to mess with the endless ocean of single-player content, you can still go online right now and play other people with some of the best netcode in the industry.
I mean, why not?
That's it. That is the end of the main BlazBlue story. Wow! It is not all there is to the BlazBlue franchise. Because Cory said he wanted to extend BlazBlue beyond just the main series, and boy, he wasn't kidding about that. Because for a game with only 4 mainline installments, they bumped out so many spin-offs for this thing. Here we go, lightning round. First up, BlazBlue Super Melee Fighters for the DS. It's an arena fighter using chibi characters that feel like they're meant to be a callback to the Teach Me Miss Lychee skits. Never played this one, but it does look super charming. What I did play though was the next game, BlazBlue Clone Phantasma for the 3DS. it takes the chibi sprites of the last game, and you just mash away at wave after wave of these cannon fodder clones. Again, this one looks charming, too bad the game itself stinks. It is completely mindless, way too repetitive. It feels like something that you would put out as a free phone game, and even then, there's way better free phone games out there. But if you do want to play it for any reason, it is still available on the 3DS eShop, at least for however long that sticks around. Next up, for phones and the Nintendo Switch, Eat Dead Spike-san. This is a rhythm game where you control Dead Spike, the giant face that Ragna sends out as a projectile, as it tries to eat up everything while dragging Ragna behind him. I did not know this game existed before doing this video, and I still can't believe it's real, but hey, it does look fun, and BlazBlue music is great, so making a rhythm game around that does kind of make sense. Then you have BlazBlue Battle Cards, a card game for phones released in 2015. Sadly, the game has been taken down and can no longer be played, but if you want a BlazBlue card game, then I will go ahead and mention they did get a spin-off tie-in with the competitive deck-building game, Xseed. But now we start getting into the big spin-offs. On the PS3 and Steam, a light novel called X-Blaze Code Embryo was released. Remember S? Yeah, this is where she's from. This is both a prequel to BlazBlue and set in an alternate reality because nothing in BlazBlue can ever just be one thing. Follow Victoria Kagri, your typical light novel high school protagonist who one day discovers a mysterious conflict happening in his city where people are developing strange powers and they have to be hunted down by the robotic S. From there, S ends up moving in with Toya to make sure that he's not infected, and they end up meeting a ton of other characters that are all involved in this big battle between humans, sorcerers, and monsters, and S starts to open up and care about her new friends. It's not bad, but it is very by the books. I mean, you got a standard high school protag boy whose defining characteristic is he's nice and caring. He meets up with a blonde girl with a giant sword who moves in with him as she tries to protect him in this new strange war that he suddenly discovered. I mean, this is basically just a big Stay-Night family right here.
Yeah, that's so boring. What the heck? I like S, but that seriously did.
So it was kind of neat going, oh, hey, they're talking about that thing. I understood that reference. Now, there is one interesting thing about this game, and that's how you progress through the story. There are multiple possible endings, but there's no decisions that you have to make throughout the game. Instead, you'll occasionally get new stories on your phone, and you have to check them. Depending on what stories you decide to read will determine what path the game takes. It's an interesting idea, although I was reading up how you get these different endings online, and it said that to get character-specific endings, you must only read stories that are also being read by those characters. But you don't know who's read what stories until after you've opened up and read those stories yourself. So, how are you supposed to know what stories to read? How are you supposed to do this on your first try without a guide? You don't know if you were right or wrong until after you've already read the article. Also, I have to point this out, I didn't realize that's what you were supposed to do until I got halfway through the game. And if you haven't read enough articles by that point, then the village kills you and the game just ends. It doesn't even come to credits, it just takes you right back to the title screen. So I went online, read what I did wrong, went back to an old autosave, and just started reading everything that I could, got back to the halfway point, and the villain once again still showed up and killed me. I went to an even older autosave, read every single report that I could, even got trophies for all the reports I was reading, and the villain still showed up and killed me and kicked me right back to the title screen. So I looked into it, and apparently several other people have had this problem, so I can't tell if it's a bug, or if it's one of those things where once you get the bad ending, you're just locked into the bad ending, and the only way to get something new is start the game fresh from the very beginning. So yeah, I won't lie to you guys, I didn't finish this one. I looked up the rest of the game on YouTube, but considering it's a light novel, I feel like I got the gist of it. And while I do think that this ends up being too generic, I still found it to be mildly entertaining.
Wait, what? Oh, what? Fuck. I'm a stupid idiot.
Which might be one of the worst things I've ever played for the perspectives.
Why did I do that?
You longtime fans out there to think about all the games I've had to play for these perspectives in the past, and then realize what I just said. I complained about this game on Twitter, and someone told me, clearly you don't know what a light novel is. Oh, I know what a light novel is. I'm very familiar with light novels, which is why I feel confident in saying this is a bad light novel. Folks, if you're defending this thing just because it's a light novel, that's the equivalent of me saying Shaq Fu is a great video game because it's a fighting game, and that's the only criteria I have. X-Blaze Code Embryo might have been kind of generic, but it at least wasn't ear-gratingly annoying, and it was at least a new story. X-Blaze Lost Memory, on the other hand, okay, at the end of Code Embryo, S realizes different realities, some pocket dimension between the boundaries on her world. But then all of her friends ended up getting hurt because she wasn't there to protect them, so the pain of that caused her to lose all of her memories. Cut to some time later, and a brand new protagonist, just called B, goes looking for her younger sister who ran away. She stumbles into S's pocket dimension, and now she finds S, or at least the embryo power that was within S, but now she's an airheaded ditz wearing nothing but lingerie. You then have to walk around these blank generic maps, picking up more memory fragments, and after each fragment, you're treated to something that makes me want to keep my own game console so that way I don't have to listen to it anymore.
でも、いっぱい集めた方が楽しいよ。別に楽しくない。絶対楽しいよ。興味ないの。邪魔しないって言ったでしょ。
ああ。
早く妹のところに行きたいの。そうだった。妹ちゃんが待ってるんだ。よし、行こう行こう。言われなくても行くわよ。
Yeah, it's that. Over and over every time that you find a fragment. Then
Why?
More memory fragments.
Ooh.
S, now calling herself Nobody, will quiz you on what she talked to you about, and if you get the questions right, then you can move on to the next floor. If you get them wrong, then you just take the quiz again. There is literally no negative to screwing these up other than just wasting your own time. You then move on to the next floor, but in between these floors, you watch scenes from the first game play out. And these scenes go on as long, if not longer, than the rest of the game. Once I realized, oh, this is just the game that I already played through, I'm gaining nothing from watching this, I just started mashing my way through these cutscenes, and I swear to you, it still took me almost 15 minutes to get through one of these cutscenes, and again, that was with me just mashing the skip button non-stop. This is kind of disgusting. Like, if you want to say, oh, I don't care if the gameplay is bad, I don't play light novels for the gameplay, then fine. I still think it sucks, but whatever, it's not the point, the story is, I understand.
Yes, well, if your light novel just so happens to have gameplay elements, and said gameplay elements suck and are boring, we have a problem.
Already played. And that's it. The vast majority of what you're doing is just walking around a bland map, grabbing an item, watching a child scream at a lingerie model, and then watching footage of the game that you already played. It's just that, over and over. Well, okay, I'll admit, I'm exaggerating a little bit here. All the scenes from the first game are now being told from S's point of view, so you get a new perspective on the whole situation.
Okay.
And that also does mean that you do see a few scenes that did not get shown in the original game. And there are some additional scenes between.
I hate how
Talos
always show markers. I mean, if you know the game already, most of the rocks aren't gonna scare you. But yeah, I still remember being paranoid about every big rock back then.
I, however, am not the biggest S stan.
But yeah.
So to me, this game was nothing more than just watching everything I had just already watched, and a never-ending conversation between an airhead and a screaming toddler. Oh, and you want to know the kicker? You want to know what really kills me about this game? It's that out of all the BlazBlue spin-offs, this is the one that actually has canon lore to it.
Why?
Not only does this game explain how S comes back and therefore is
That's
able to be
a
in Central Fiction, but also the
Stop.
nameless protag,
Oh
the
no.
screaming
Oh,
toddler
oh,
in question.
oh.
Yeah, that's 9. That's right. That's 9 the Phantom. And her lost sister that she's looking for is Celica. This is actually a secret origin story for 9. And I love 9. I love Celica. But no bit of backstory is worth saying through any of these exchanges. Luckily, our next spin-off game wasn't just a massive improvement, it was also another fighting game. Although, when this new title was revealed at EVO 2017, it was not what people were expecting. Central Fiction had been out for a year, and the final DLC had just been revealed. So when people saw a big trailer start up with Jin and Ragnar squaring off, they thought, oh, this is an update to Central Fiction? No, wait, that's a brand new stage. Could this be a brand new game? Could we already be getting the next Blaze Blue? Only to be greeted with this.
Ah, the crossover. I almost forgot about that.
That is the sound of a stadium full of people collectively losing their minds. Now look at that kid, he's having a religious experience right now. I'm not kidding you, I legit thought it was a joke. Like, I fully expected Mori to just come up there on stage and just go, I gotcha. But no, this was 100% real. Toshimitsu Mori said that for his next game, he wanted to do a Tagfire. And originally, he intended for the game to just use Blaze Blue characters. But because of how wild and varied the playstyles of Blaze Blue characters were, he said that would be too difficult to put them on teams together. Think about that for a second. This series began with Mori saying they wanted to tone down the combat to make it more accessible. And now, 4 games in, these characters were so insane that if you had to control more than one of them at a time, your face would melt. So he decided to make a completely new game with brand new combat. It was going to be a crossover between Blaze Blue and
a lot of
any
things.
franchise he could get his hands on. The game launched with characters from Persona 4 Arena, Under Night Birth, and the anime series RWBY all thrown into a pot to make one big anime gumbo. Now, Persona 4 and Under Night Birth makes sense. I mean, Under Night Birth was already a fighting game, and ArcSys helped to develop that. Persona 4 got a fighting game spin-off that ArcSys made, so yeah, obviously those two could show up. But why RWBY? How the heck did this internet anime series that never had a fighting game before get thrown into this mix?
I know, right?
Well, honestly, it's actually kind of simple. Toshimitsu Mori just said in an interview with Forbes magazine that he liked RWBY. Then Rooster Teeth heard about this, reached out to him, and yeah, that's it. Kind of wild how often big video game crossovers happen, not because of giant massive corporations coming together and working something out, but just because guys have to say hi to each other. Now, I'll be honest with you, I do have some complaints about this game, as many people do. Blaze Blue was a series that, as I said, had tons of single-player content. This game only had the story modes, and that's it. The big complaint that people were up in arms about was that this game was announced to have 40 characters. Wow, that's huge! And half of them were going to be DLC.
Bruh.
I've seen some DLC references before, but revealing that half of the roster would be DLC before the game even came out isn't a good look. This is a tag-based fighter and a crossover, and those two tend to have really large rosters, so that way you can fit in there a good chunk of characters from all the various franchises. So that with only 20 characters was way too low. I mean, heck, RWBY only has 4 main characters, and 2 of them were going to be DLC. You couldn't even put all 4 of them in the base roster? And once again, this game was reusing assets as it took all the sprites from the other games and put them in here, with the RWBY sprites being the only exceptions. And as I said, I love reusing assets because it allows you to include more characters. So why are there only 20? Central Fiction had just come out 2 years before this, and it launched with over 30 characters. If you want to get someone into these games, why would you suggest the game with a significantly smaller roster to the much larger game with far more content and is right over there and still gain support? However, despite these problems, I still love this game, and it's all because of the gameplay. Yes, the inputs are similar than they were in Central Fiction, but it's still one of the most insane fighters in recent history. You can pull off incredible combos with just a few buttons. The amount of defensive and offensive mechanics are through the roof, and the combat is so fast. And this became more impressed by the games I ever platinum because I just wanted to play it. I kept wanting to match different characters together and see what combinations they could come up with. Not just for mechanical reasons, but also because this game
Antinomy of Common Flowers released shortly after this game, I'm pretty sure.
with each other. And most of the MGCs seem to enjoy this as well. The game built up a strong player base, and even the game's first Blaze Blue game being featured 2 years in a row at EVO. And beyond the combat, listen, I like Blaze Blue, I like Persona, I like Under Night, it's just fun seeing these characters together. Especially with the story mode, which didn't just bring back the English cast for all the returning characters, it even provided English voices for the characters who did get them in Central Fiction, as well as the entire cast of Under Night Confirmed, which to this day has never had English dub. And the story mode is immensely similar this time around, and it pretty much only exists just for fun. It's just here to be a good time keeping these characters together. And I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm a massive Persona nerd, so seeing Chie hanging out with Ragna and talk about the power of friendship while Ragna just looks at her like, the hell are you talking about? I love it. Plus, I just had to throw this out there. Out of all the wacky, nutty ArcSys round announcers, Can't Escape from Crossing Fate is easily my favorite, and I'm legit mad this game is no longer talked about, because for 6 months I kept laughing my butt off at all the memes people were making around it. But here's where the wackiness got cranked up to 11. Yes, the game had a disgusting amount of DLC, but after the initial storm passed, they announced a second season in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle 2.0. This didn't just see updates to the gameplay and brand new story content, but also several brand new fighters, including multiple characters from brand new series. You now had characters joining the fray from Arcana Hearts, Senran Kagura, because of course Mori P is a Senran Kagura fan, and even the super niche cult favorite fighter Akatsuki Blitzcom, including the Blitz Tank, who I honestly believe might have gotten more people talking about this game than any other update version of the game ArcSys has ever made. Even if BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle was worth saying, they got a tank. I'm sorry, did somebody just say a tank? Real talk, at the end of the day, despite all the problems I have with this game, I still love the format, and the final roster update made me want more. If you ask me, hey, what fighting game would you want to see another season of DLC for, I would say BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle without even thinking about it. I wanted to see what Season 3 was going to bring us, because it feels like this was just one more update away from being the officially licensed version of Mugen. We could have gotten all the weird, obscure fighters together. Breaker's Revenge, Asura Blade, Rumblefish, Matra Melee, Melty Blood. You know Melty Blood would have been in there. Anything not nailed down could have been up for grabs in that Season 3 of DLC, and I wish
It was
had
50
happened.
bucks.
No.
I'm not sure if
Even
that
if
would
it's no
make you
longer
rich.
game updates, just
Although
like Central
depending
Fiction, its final
on
update
who
did
you
install
talk to.
rollback netcode in the game, so that way you and all your friends can cross Fate without any hiccups online. That brings us to the final spin-off and the most recent BlazBlue title. In August 2017, Mori announced that a brand new RPG would be on the way for phones and mobile devices called BlazBlue Alternative Dark Wars.
Oh
And I don't
no,
know
it's a
much about the
gacha game.
development of this game. Not a lot has been revealed just yet, but I can tell you, it was not good. Because the game was announced in 2017 with an expected 2018 release date, and it would not come out until February 2021. Okay. A 3-year-long delay on a game that was expected to be developed in just 1 year. Not a great start, but was the game fun at least? I honestly have no idea. This game never got a global release, so all information I have on it is pretty much just secondhand accounts. But from what I've gathered talking to people online, you pick a blank protagonist to represent yourself, while being escorted around by the brand new character Teal Sulfur, and then the Mitsurugi Agency, an organization that first appeared in the X-Blades game. And after the events of Central Fiction, multiple realities, or possibilities as this franchise calls them, are revealed and now prepare for BlazBlue characters from the main series, the spin-offs, the mangas, the past, the future, and just flat-out alternate versions of themselves to stop these brand new threats. These alternate versions can include things like Young Falconhide, Tsubaki from the future wearing Hakumen-style armor, which was actually teased at the end of Central Fiction, and evil versions of Mai and Kagura. This game looks nuts, and it apparently had some big, massive, overarching plot to it that was going to mean a lot to the entire lore of BlazBlue, and we're never going to find out what that was. Because yes,
Dang it,
after
I'm
being
just saving.
trapped in development hell for 4 years, this game was released in February 2021, and then shut down in January 2022, not even making it a full year. Mori took to social media and commented on the announcement saying, quote, From the beginning, various difficulties have arisen in continuing its operation. We've been trying various approaches to making our users enjoy the service as much as possible, but the results have not been what we hoped for. As our customers may well know, we have been running the game for almost a year with various problems, and both development and operation have been going through trial and error every day. So, yeah, we don't know the specifics, but it's clear that
I'm going the
production of
wrong
this
way.
game was a mess, and they just couldn't keep it going. And you know that hit Mori hard. He had huge plans for this game. He even went on Twitter and tweeted out that the true villain of the series was going to be revealed to be this guy. Who's this guy? It's the generic Protag man from X-Plane. Yes, the good boy everyman Protag was going to be revealed to have a dark, gritty future self. Do you think Mori B likes the Fate series? I think Mori B likes the Fate series. So yes, sadly, Dark Wars was a bust. But Mori did come out in the spring of this year and announced that it was
How
more
boring.
on the way. And in July, it was announced that a brand new roguelike set within the series was going to be coming to mobile devices and for PC. Alright, hey, I mean, it's not a fighting game, but roguelikes are fun. The gameplay preview looks pretty good, and Mori made it sound like there was going to be even more BlazBlue planned after this.
Why is it the mobile?
Has yet to be written, and there is still a universe of possibilities still open for this beloved series. BlazBlue creator Toshimichi Mori leaves Arc System Works. Of course he did! I forgot it's still 2022, the year where every game I do a retrospective on has to have a bad ending.
And dang it.
There's going to be even more BlazBlue planned after this. The future of this series has yet to be written, and there is still a universe of possibilities still open for this beloved series. BlazBlue creator Toshimichi Mori leaves Arc System Works. Of course he did! I forgot it's still 2022, the year where every game I do a retrospective on has to have a bad ending. Yes, in September of this year, some eagle-eyed fans noticed that Toshimichi Mori's name had been removed from Arc System's list of directors. Then, a few days later, Mori took to Twitter and confirmed everyone's fears that he had indeed left the company. And that's about all we know. Yeah, there's been no other information revealed about this so far. But considering that Mori has been light on details, and nobody else with Arc System has commented on the situation, and Mori doesn't have any future jobs lined up at the moment, this doesn't exactly sound like things ended on the best note. Normally when someone leaves for greater things or to pursue their own goals, typically everyone at the company wishes them well. They don't tend to bury it and go radio silent. So we have no idea why Mori stepped down. Maybe he did want to pursue a different path, but considering how much he loved this universe and these characters and now he won't be able to use them anymore, I kinda doubt it. And I hate to just start speculating, but it could very well have had something to do with the fact that Alternative Dark Wars spent 4 years in production hell, only to then be shut down before its 1-year anniversary. Yeah, you spend that much time on a live service only for it to crash that hard? That's not the kind of thing that you can just wash off your record. I mean, heck, this wasn't even the first BlazBlue mobile game that failed. They already had a strike against them with that card game, but it could also have had something to do with the changing face of Arc Systems. After the last BlazBlue, Arc Systems kind of exploded. They were hired by Bandai Namco to develop the insanely popular Dragon Ball FighterZ, leading to success unlike anything the company had ever seen.
That house is
That
still on
translated
fire.
into sales for their other games as well. I mentioned that Guilty Gear, despite being their flagship title, never really sold all that well. That is, until Guilty Gear Strive came out and sold 1 million copies in a year, which I know some people might think that's not that impressive, but for Guilty Gear, yeah, that's really darn impressive.
Right, I'm just
The biggest Guilty Gear release
actually
of all time, and
fine,
bigger than
yeah.
the last several
I'm gonna go
BlazBlues.
beat this
As a
shrine
result
and
of
then.
increasing sales, Arc's CEO Kero Oka announced that they want the company to actively pursue
Oh, that's
more
still
fighting games
25.
based on existing IPs that are popular in the West. And BlazBlue definitely has Western fans, but not as many as some other IPs that they could be pursuing. Or Roxas is now a Western developer. Maybe Western audiences enjoy BlazBlue, we don't know. Frankly, we don't want to know. It's an IP that we can do without. Again, these are 100% just speculations based upon the evidence that we have available to us, which is certainly not the complete picture. But yeah, decreasing sales, years of work and money put into a failed project, Mori wanting to focus on pretty much anything that wasn't a fighting game while the company just wanted to focus on fighting games. There's a good chance there was a lot of factors behind this. Now, Mori has said that he isn't done making games, and he wants his next game to be one that the BlazBlue fans will enjoy, but that next game would not be BlazBlue. ArcSys still owns that title,
that
and the
IP.
characters mean Mori can't touch it. So in a very wild, roundabout, cosmic levels of irony way, this story has now come full circle. Because ArcSys made BlazBlue because they no longer own their flagship title that they created. And now, ArcSys is the one holding on to the flagship title whose original creator no longer owns it. Now again, I have to stress this. This just happened 3 months ago. We have no idea if ArcSys has any plans for the future of BlazBlue. I doubt it, but as I said, there is something like already in the works, which has not been mentioned at all since this story broke, but still, it could still be out there. Point is, maybe we still do have more BlazBlue on the way. Or maybe they'll just sell the title back to Mori, and then he gets to make BlazBlue again. I mean, he and Daisuke are still friends as far as I know, and Daisuke knows that they can still all ones like the Wii series that you put your heart and soul into, so maybe he wants to get something out. There's no way I'm sugarcoating this. The future of this series looks very murky. At least when it comes to new movies. Because here's the thing, folks. You can still get every single one of these games on Steam. As I said, single victory cost tag back up games and still get back not just major tournaments, but also pretty much any locals that you can find. The BlazBlue fanbase is still incredibly active. You can still find people easily who want to play. And even if the fanbase dries up one day, even if everyone just decides overnight, I'm tired of this now, guess what? Because these games are loaded with a metric ton of single-player features, you can still enjoy these games by yourself for days and weeks and months without running out of time. Something special. The combination of critical characters and fast-paced gameplay. It's got the fanbase that still holds it up and the credentials in the FGC to continue being a strong force in the competitive scene for years. And
Alright, 10 hits.
because this game was made back before every single fighting game out there had to be 100% esports live service focused, that can survive without becoming supporting it. I've been really good at tackling this game every part of the year, and going back and doing this deep dive has given me an appreciation for almost every angle of this series. From the music to the characters to even the lore and especially the gameplay. Folks, I'm recording more footage for this introspect than for any other single video I've ever done. Normally, I just spend about a week capturing footage for these videos, and for this one, I took 2.5 weeks of non-stop recording day and night, and yet I still have to force myself to stop playing them because I just want to keep going. So yeah, no matter what happens in the future, there's a new game from ArcSys, a new franchise from Mori in this game's memory, or even if there's nothing, this series is kind of future-proof. It's easily available with timeless combat and appeal, meaning as long as you're ready to jump into the series and pick up a controller, then the wheels of fate will never stop turning. Folks, thank you very much for tuning in to another Epic Linked retrospective here on this channel. Again, if you like what you saw here today, then make sure that you click that subscribe button. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but we're trying to hit 50,000 subs by the end of the year. And oh man, we're close. We are so close. We just need that last little push. If you guys can help us out, we would appreciate that so much. And if you're already subscribed and you still want to help this channel, then make sure that you give us a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. That stuff lets YouTube know that they should be spreading this around. And you can also spread it around yourself or share it around the web.
Dude, the gameplay's been so smooth so far. I mean, there was that one hiccup.
And if you want to get in touch with me, then you can find me out
That was
there
kinda
in the
scary,
boundary of
but-
the internet, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Tumblr, on 30s Arcade. Thank you guys very much for tuning in today. I hope you all had a very safe, happy holiday season. Thank you very much for all the support that you've given us this year. I will see you all in 2023.
My god. I have never seen Dark Army Resurrection go through an entire 2-hour session like this without ever crashing. Maybe it's already happened and I just don't remember anymore. And it's the memory's been drowned out by all my recent experiences due to me being, well, me. Well, that's it for now. I think I'm going to bed now.